Hi folks, Casual Dad here, and we're going to do a little bit less exposition today. Today I'm just going to talk about Heroes of the Storm, just do an introduction. It is a game that I absolutely love, I've played for a long time, and I think it's a really great place to kind of start. One of the really cool things about it is you can play a full game in about 15 to 20 minutes, usually somewhere under the 20 mark, and I think I've seen a game end in about 9 minutes. So it's very short. It's also very competitive and very strategic, but can also be forgiving. So as a new dad with kids, I really love it because it lets me get like that very intense gaming feeling where I can really get into it and enjoy it in a short span of time, which is kind of what you end up getting to play with when you're a new dad. So it's really nice. It is a really good kind of distilled tactical game for those really advanced competitive gamers. So that's kind of the floor for your advanced kind of super aggressive gamer, and then a ceiling for kind of your more casual gamer. So it's a nice middle ground where the two can kind of meet there, and it can kind of scratch the itch for both sides. I'm looking at my quests here to see what character I'm going to play as, and these quests do let you earn gold as kind of an in-game reward. They refresh, I think you get one every day, so every 3 days you get a full 3 quests you can complete at the same time. And gold is an in-game currency that you can use to buy heroes. And if you're anything like me, even if you've been playing for quite a while, you probably don't have all the heroes, so it's still worth playing to get those gold rewards to kind of buy some of these stragglers that you don't have. Blizzard has officially discontinued support for Heroes of the Storm, but there's still a loyal fan base. There's a ton of stuff on YouTube on it, and it's just still a really good all-around game. They put a ton of really good work into this over the years. They've got really excellent artwork, some cool gameplay. It's just an all-around good game that I still really enjoy. Absolutely worth it. So, let's look back at those quests real quick and see which one we're going to play as. So healer support, and you can add filters here too. So if I was a healer support, and then the universes I've got are Overwatch or Nexus. Actually Overwatch, Nexus, or Warcraft, so it gives me a lot of options. So we're looking at Warcraft, Overwatch, Nexus. So this is the pool of heroes that I can pull from. The lit up ones obviously are the ones I actually have playable, and then the grayed out ones are the ones I could buy if I had the resources to do so. Looking at this, let's see, I'm looking for one that's a little bit more passive. Let's do some Lucio.
Oh,
obviously familiar from Overwatch. He plays pretty much exactly the same way in Heroes of the Storm as he does in Overwatch, and I came from Heroes of the Storm to Overwatch for him, so it's actually how I learned how to play him, which says something about my Lucio play in Overwatch. But I've been a Blizzard fanboy for my entire life, so it is really fun to get kind of this different side of these characters and to see all the different universes interact. Because, you know, there's on the playground at some point, you've definitely had that moment where it's like, I wonder if Raynor could take Diablo. And short answer, sometimes. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I'll talk about kind of team comp. Obviously you end up in teams of 5. I'm doing quick play, which is competitive, but it's with a group of random strangers. I could be in a party, like these two here. This Nazebo and Garrosh have the mark here saying they're in a party. Yeah, if I had friends that still played this. Oh, woe is me. But that, again, is one of the things where it's really easy to matchmake with a random team. And again, as someone with a sort of random schedule at odd hours, it's nice just to be able to jump in and play this kind of game without having to coordinate with a bunch of other dads whose schedules are equally chaotic and not necessarily aligned with mine. Alright, let's do this. We have these loading bars. This is Tomb of the Spider Queen. And so you'll see on the screen where we all start in our base, and in the bottom right there's a mini-map that shows the whole screen. You move the screen by hitting the edges with the mouse, and right-click to move your hero, and then left-click to interact with things. Well, actually, I think you just right-click. I'll see in a minute. It's kind of instinctual now, so I have to kind of remember how to do it. You get talents, and you can heart them in the preparation screen to choose which one is going to be your favorite when you get a chance to look at the stats, because during play, it tends to be quite a bit faster. And so you may not be able to watch that in the moment. I just added a quest. It's cool to pick that early because I'm already earning progress on that. It's a quest that I get more stacks of the longer I play for my buddies. As Lucio, of course, got the familiar kit from Overwatch. He's got a bubble, and you can see the borders of it right now that will heal if it's yellow, and will add a speed boost to all my friendlies if it is Green. And I can hit my W to switch back and forth between the two. I can use the E to supercharge it, so that it actually makes the either speed boost faster or the healing faster. It's a great kit, and he does have some offense. He's got his little short-range gun that's fun to use, and then he also has... He also has his boop, so he's got his little pop gun I can use to push something away like I just did there to protect that hero who's trying to run away. So right now, we are in the middle lane. There are 3 lanes between the 2 camps. Ooh, that was close, I got distracted. And you build up experience as a team by killing creeps and heroes in any of these lanes. And so you've got a maximum of 3 lanes worth of experience to get, so it really is helpful to... It really is helpful to have someone in those different lanes. And if you look at the minimap, you can see the red team has a little bit of an edge on us here, because they have someone in those multiple lanes, where we only have... Oh, there we go, Nazebo's down there, his little headshot. So you get, the maximum of experience you can get is killing all the creeps in all 3 lanes. If you're winning team fights and keeping pressure on the enemy team, you can get away with not doing that. But generally you do want to be pretty aggressive about getting all your lanes covered. I'll switch to speed boost, looks like they're coming down here to ambush.
I'm on target.
Got a bit of a mirror, we both have Asmodan, this big demon guy in the bottom. Familiar for you Diablo players.
Raising the volume.
I'm glad to have you in the field.
Choose a talent.
And also, there's a secondary objective in every map. In this one, it's the Tomb of the Spider Queen again, so we're collecting gems that we then turn into summon a very powerful neutral creep. I've only got 2 right now, but I like to go ahead and turn those in, because if you die, chances are you're going to lose all of them. Get a little booping in. And it's definitely better to not die. So even if you're only turning in 2, if you can do that instead of losing all of them, 2 is better than none. Ouch.
I
amp it up to crank up my healing a bit, and I'm going to take a speed boost to grab him. You have your walls. You've got the walls that you can pass through, but enemy teams can't. And then you, of course, have your cannons that will automatically kill creeps, and will also attack enemy heroes as well. And those...
Let's get you healed up.
Your healing is appreciated. Know your place.
Sorry. Garrosh, also familiar for Warcraft players, and I've got Mayev over here. The Warden. A lot of Warcraft in this match.
All right. Pressure. Oh.
I'm just trying to protect Garrosh while he turns in, because he's got a lot of gems, and that may... It's not quite enough, we need 50. And you can see in the bottom right, that objective counter shows who has turned in how many gems so far, and who has how many left over. And at the moment, the enemy team has enough that they could turn in exactly.
Choose yourself a talent. Hell yes.
They have enough that they could turn in to get those things. But we just did a major move by killing their healer, who had some, and he's not just a healer. That was Medivh. And we got our spiders.
Come, my children. Come to me.
Medivh is a handful, he does a lot of stuff, and he has that Raven form, and you can't attack him in that Raven form. So you can really kind of ruin your day.
My web weavers shall weave a web of death.
Just because the enemy team not knowing where you are or what you're doing is a huge advantage, and with him, he can just kind of poke around.
Blessings upon you.
Healing me was a wise choice.
He can just kind of dance around and always see your team, and duck in and out of that bird mode. So he doesn't do all that much offensively or defensively, but he's got so much information value, and he's not really a slouch. He can do damage, just not compared to some other heroes. Party mix, alright. I don't want to die here. And of course we've got Nazebo, another Diablo hero, a little witch doctor there throwing bugs around. Bugs and toads.
Locked on.
And so you can see that enemy structures do take damage as you attack them, and the goal is to peel those back until you get to the enemy base.
Let's up the tempo.
Even I know when to retreat.
Gather their gems. Bring them to me. Do this
Healing
now.
me was a wise choice.
I'm not even sure what I was saying. I was in the middle of a sentence somewhere. The downside of streaming a game you're really, really into.
Escape and stay down.
Oh yeah, let's pick it up.
Enemy slain. Impressive.
That was some really good team play there. And this, again, this is a bunch of strangers. 2 of them are in a party, but most of them are complete strangers. The people playing this game still are generally at a point where,
I
I'm glad to have
See,
you.
you know who to heal first.
That's my jam.
are generally at a point where they can play very well with strangers. So they kind of know the role of their heroes. They're usually pretty good. They've been playing a lot. And generally not as salty as you'll find in some other MOBAs, although a fair number of players have switched from some of the saltier, more familiar ones to this one.
Choose a talent.
The spiders shall aid
And we
your
didn't stop them
cause.
as well as we should have. But if we hold this wave back, the spider mobs spawn at whatever progress point you are back. So if they're not pushing this part, the spiders that do come down will come down much further back from your fort. Oh boy, that's a bummer.
Jerks.
And so here you can see the spider spawn way back here.
For the true
I'm glad
horde.
to have you.
That's my jam.
Ah, polymorphed. Turned into a flying sheep. Lucio is one of the better healers in the game because he heals everybody within an area.
Let's get patched up.
Your healing is appreciated.
And he also has, of course, that speed boost, which is really, really handy, especially to be able to do both.
Taking over the airwaves.
He can still wall ride like he does in Overwatch,
Move to the
which is
beat.
great. He's a very, very powerful piece. He does suffer a little bit if he's in a team that splits up, so the more a team sticks together, the more powerful he tends to be.
Which one of you let them destroy that fort?
My power wanes. Gather more gems or face my wrath.
Nah, he got away. Sneaky.
Get you healed up.
Ah.
The clutch is ready to form again. Return the gems to me.
Taking over the airwaves.
It's close.
I'm
And it was
glad
risky
to
of me to
have
tuck back in there, but I wanted to save them. And another thing about him is he rarely, as long as you're kind of keeping everyone topped off, including yourself, he rarely has to retreat all the way back to the home base, which gives you a lot of extra,
See, you know who to heal first.
utility. Spider stun there. I have a lot of gems. I should be concerned about that. That also makes me a pretty hard target because the number of gems you have is visible
Let's get you healed up.
I'm glad to have you.
to your enemies as well, so they can see which guy's carrying the most gems and try to take that guy down. And also keep an extra close eye on that guy to make sure he's not sneaking off to turn those gems in, which I'm about to do. You can see in the top bar both teams and then who is currently up.
Know your place. Try and stop me.
I'm glad to have
Was a
you.
wise choice.
That's my jam.
Which is really helpful to know who to stop. That's irritating. And they've got a bunch of pokey stuff on this with that Hanzo. So it's going to be really hard for me to actually manage to turn this in without them. Because that bird knows where I am and can pop in and out without anyone hitting him.
Stay down.
We can use this as bait, just like that.
Move to the beat.
To have them come in and take a really unfavorable engagement just to stop a turn in.
Attack it.
Healing me was a wise choice.
One downside to playing healers and heroes in particular is that you don't get to dictate the battle very much. With some of them you can, but mostly I'm just following other players around. Nope. Oh, thank God. Woo, that was good.
Enemy slain. Choose a talent.
Get some extra top off there. Ooh, that's fun.
Killing spree.
Yeah, let's move it, people.
Nice. Okay. We should have engaged the camp, whoever pinged that, and you saw it ping and heard the little dot for that. Whoever did that was right, because camps go or disappear whenever an objective is up. So it is a really good idea to hit them. If you ping them, if they're actively engaged, when the boss appears, they stay up, and so you can actually be taking that camp while the enemy team is distracted with whatever else is going on.
Get back. The light shows
Oh, goodness.
healing boost.
So there's a lot going on. And I can do kind of a recap at the end. We'll see how this goes. At the moment, it feels like we've been on offense a lot. We are not necessarily winning.
That's one way to end a killing spree. 1 foot. Extra.
First death, not bad. So you can look at the kind of state of the health in the map and then level. We're both evenly leveled. We're doing better in the team fights, I think, but they have so much poke that they're keeping a little bit of map control up. We're really, really evenly matched here. It's pretty unusual to see a game where both teams have equal defense, where we both have a mostly dead camp somewhere in the front, and equal level. Like, this is really could go either way. Just one good team fight. If one team gets a team wipe, where they kill all of the opposing heroes at any point here, that'll pretty much decide the game. But not necessarily.
You are too late. Now you will know my wrath.
I don't want to be over here. I have my speed boost on. Another thing about Lucio is a little status here where even if you're off the screen, you can tell what kind of boost you have, so you know if you need to switch to your speed while trying to run across the map.
Choose a talent. Protect this weakling. Protect this weakling.
I don't know what he's pinging about.
Double time.
It is a little bit of a bummer that the whatever pings you do have the voice of your hero. That could not be at all the tone he's going for, but that's what's coming across because he's playing his garage.
Let's hustle.
And this really illustrates how great Lucio is that option to both
Busted up our fort.
do the speed boost and the healing. And all healers have some kind of utility. Some of them are actually quite dangerous in combat. Lucio's not bad. He actually has pretty decent damage output, but doesn't compare to some of the others. Ouch.
Pump up the volume.
That was very nice, Hanzo.
Choose a talent.
My altar awaits the gems. Bring them. Bring me their power.
So there's some traits that will add a little top off to your abilities that do based on a % of health, and you want to take those if you have... there are some that will do damage based on % of health, which you want to take if your other team is especially beefy, and vice versa. My healing one now heals for a % of health, which will heal a big bonus to the guys that have more hit points.
Alright.
I'm still trading crossfade quests over. I'm still turning in. I've only got 6.
This is gonna make you feel better.
Come on. That is annoying as heck. But at least someone died for it. And when the enemy team loses a hero like that, they have to be a lot more cautious, because they don't want that to turn around. Like I was saying, one team kill is going to pretty much decide this.
Your healing is appreciated.
But the other team is doing a little bit of a better job splitting up than we are. they have enough beef that they're kind of holding us down in team fights like this one, but at the same time they have a little solo push,
Let's give it a spin.
so they can
I see Rocktar,
kind of get distracted. And they are really getting saved by that guy. That's Anduin doing his little rescue hook,
Pump up the volume.
just grabbing a friendly. And you probably saw earlier, Garrosh has an ability to throw people. He can throw friendlies or enemies. And he saved my butt at one point where he just threw me back, where I was stunned and in trouble and gonna die. And he threw me back so that I was saved from an obvious kill. So I should have had 2 deaths instead of just the 1.
Pew, pew, pew.
Vision arrow. Yeah, they really are very good at seeing us.
Push on. Moving to the beat.
And Garrosh has a bunch of health, so even though I'm topping him off here, it's going to take him a while to come back.
Let's up the tempo. Oh, let's break it.
I'm glad to have you.
Woo!
Let's hustle.
I see you know who to heal first.
And Garrosh has an advantage where he actually gains armor based on how much health he's missing, so he gets considerably harder to kill. Ow.
I see you know who to heal first. I will convince these mercenaries.
So it's funny, he can
to
look
join
like
us.
he's an easy target, but that can be very, very misleading.
Get back. Now that's my jam.
And that's a camp. Those are mobs that you have to dedicate some force to killing, but once you do, they join your side, and then we'll go ahead and
The gems are mine. My power shall aid you.
we're about even on turn-ins, which is also a little bit rare,
Healing me was a wise choice.
because usually one team is kind of dominating, and so if someone's summoning the spiders, I've actually never seen a game this even. This is crazy.
I hear that.
So this is going to be a longer one. We'll see how it goes. Because usually there's a pretty decisive, and I think that over time they're a little bit up in terms of base progress, but I think that we're
I see you know who to heal
consistently more aggressive, and successfully so. Like, they're not pushing us back or killing us at all. We're just getting closer and closer to their keep. And this is going to be a really, really good turn-in.
Oh, let's break it. Damn. Blessings on
Healing me was a wise
Hanzo, man, he's just poaching me in the back there. Come on. Oof. Barely dodged that one. Ah! Got me good. That was really showing off the scariness of Medivh. God, even that though, like that was just back and forth. They got 2 kills for 1. They're almost dead, so they have to back. We still have a spider pushing. Like, we took some hits, but that was in no way a decisive fallback, and we're probably going to take down this gate. And then also, once you take out these castles, your waves of neutral mobs get stronger. So you can see that there are catapults added now, and catapults can actually destroy things from a distance far more quickly. So you only get those sending on your neutral waves once you've taken down, I forget what they're called. They're forts and keeps, and I don't remember which one's which, but one of the outer ones are one, and the inner ones are another one.
My power grows by your
That was a little more decisive, so they turned that 2 for 1 kill into an actual turn-in, which is pretty good, which we should have stopped that, but
Oh, time for
it's such an
encore.
even game, we don't really have room to do things like that.
defend yourself
Still,
or
we should
perish.
have. That's right.
I care not which.
We'll defend this and we'll get them. At this point, usually at this point in the game, you can tell who's going to win at like level 20. At this point, I have no idea. Could be us, could be them. I don't know. I got no clue. Of course it's going to be us. We always win. This team of complete strangers who I've never played with before. We always win.
Time to
We
accelerate.
must speed boost so we can quickly react to these. Yeah, and hope. Ooh, and they're hard pushing on the top, which of course they would.
Yeah, let's move it, people.
They're trying to turn this into a push on the core. Once the core is destroyed, the team that lost it loses.
Let's break it down.
But I think we're going to successfully defend this.
I see you know who to heal first.
Where wheels have fallen.
Yes, we successfully pushed back the web weavers. We did lose that keep though, which is a bummer, so that does put them ahead a little bit. Ooh, yeah, look at that bonus healing on me. I'm healing a bunch because I have a bunch of buddies with me. Man, Hanzo's annoying. I will, and in part because that's a really, really good Hanzo. He's definitely taking advantage of his extra vision and shooting through
That's my
walls
jam.
and doing a bunch of damage from a safe distance. Which is what makes him a very powerful hero. This may be the best Hanzo I've ever seen in Heroes. He has an impact, but this guy's landing some really key, hard-hitting shots and forcing us to back where we otherwise would push. I'm very impressed. And of course that Medivh is in there causing chaos. Oh, I thought he was mine.
Oh, this is my jam.
I'm pretty sure Garrosh was trying to hit me with that to save me. Maybe. Maybe he was just trying to kill that guy. Hard to say. But it worked out.
You have my thanks.
Uh-oh. And that's, I mentioned the catapults before, they can actually get up and hit your core. And so you do actually have to play a much more aggressive defense when those are up. Ow!
Pump up the volume.
So I think that actually decides it. That they now have catapults on our camp. That
Feel the
gives them a
healing
significant advantage here, since we don't have that on them yet.
Our core is under attack.
beat. Love it. Let's up
Ow.
the tempo.
I'm tired of getting pinged by that. That was a really good move because
Speed boost.
I got him. I gotta shoot. And that was a great case. That was really, really good use by both teams. Garrosh pulled him in, and that's Asmodan, who has no escape move, so he's very easy to
Let's up the tempo.
stick in a corner like that.
Lucio in the house.
That's a ballsy move. I don't think that's gonna pull off, but you know, why not? Why not is, the downside of this is the boss. It's a really, really powerful creep. If we get this, he could turn the game for us. If we don't, though, if we get him weak, and it looks like they haven't caught on yet, if we get him weak and the other team pops in and has enough oomph to take us off it, then they can then get the boss without having to fight it. But they didn't. That worked out. Awesome. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. They knew about it, but just a little bit too late. And that was risky. If we had a lower damage team where we didn't have we couldn't hit hard enough to take it down. Oh, that was a good point. So their whole team kind of has to devote to defending against the boss, which leaves us pretty much free to turn in our gems. That was great.
The gems are mine.
Oh yeah.
My power shall aid you.
Oh, let's break it down.
I'm send my daughters. Descend and destroy.
And you got the bonus that makes it last longer too. Ow. Hanzo, man. Wow, you're not even... to be totally honest, I didn't even see... Oh, it was the fort? That's weird. The fort should have been attacking the boss. That the fort was attacking me is surprising. But again, even after that, levels are even. We're one down after that super aggressive push. And they are now poking on our base, but now we have exactly even bases. Except that Asmodan is trying to make up that difference. So like this is shocking. Also, a really one of the highest heal amounts I've ever gotten. And I think that the reason we're doing as well as we are is our Garrosh is really good, but also our Azmodan is very good too. But the other team is very good as well.
Keep, not kept.
Okay. So I do think the other team has a slight edge. I'm curious to see how that turns out. I think that we are going to lose this one, but oh, it's been a good game. I don't really mind losing one like that. And I mean, whatever. You're going to lose sometimes, no matter what, but it's nice to have it be like a game and not just get crushed for...
Where we going again? Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Sometimes it's fun to just have the utter crushing victories, but the crushing losses are a real bummer.
Most appreciated.
And I'm trying to keep everyone in the bubble as much as possible without completely dictating where they move.
I'm on target.
I did mention this in my intro, but one thing I really love about Heroes over other MOBAs is it's faster. Oh, well, okay, I'm going to go through the whole list. So big thing is it's much faster, games are shorter, there's a lot less, it takes much less time to get across the map.
Pick it up.
So it's easier to respond to things, it's just a more active game than some of the other things like Dota or League of Legends. The other thing too is it's a lot more forgiving. One of the biggest things being that...
Enemy slain.
Had to camp there just in case he got out, nice.
Your time has come.
And his gems could be picked up by his team if one of them was here to save them, but there is no one here. And I'm proud of that. I don't know if Garrosh had planned that or not, but I timed my bump to bump all those guys back into his area attack. Switch to speed boost. I don't know what Mayev is doing. Hopefully it's not intentional. Oh, come on, man! Oh, we got him anyway, okay. We get another one.
Double time. Oh, let's break it. Damn. I can do this with my eyes closed. Oh, this is
Players that don't know Lucio all that well may not notice when the healing versus speed boost is on, but I'm trying to respond to them rather than dictate it for anyone. Yeah, and 2 of them are dead, so this is a good time if we really dive in on this.
target. Get back.
We can take this. That both denies it to them and also gives us quite a bit more pressure here on their wall, which helps kind of counteract that Azmodan just sitting in our base. The speed boost is really handy for someone like Nazebo and Azmodan, who both are very, very slow heroes. So I can boop him. Ah, I got sheeps. Every time I go for a boop. Oh. Nice. Oh, that was good.
Locked on.
Took out the healer and got him real low. Azmodan is on our core. It's a bummer. Try not to get killed by the fort again.
Keep annihilated.
Thing is, if he lets us have this,
Move it, people.
he really could just go for the core. Holy crap, nope. Okay. Alright, I did not expect that. Yeah, that's a fair point. That was definitely a quick match kind of ending. Wow, no dad Scott, he was good. Yeah, that was... Oh man, I could not have recorded a better game. That was fantastic. I hope that was fun for you to watch, and it was a decent introduction. I really enjoyed that Garrosh. He was good. He got a bunch of votes going around. Yeah, nice to make the end screen. And again, there are only 5 slots to appear in the end screen, but yeah, to have it almost evenly split between both teams is just wild. I don't think I've ever seen a game that was like that. That was crazy. And then that Azmodan can be really, really proud for the rest of the week. That was really good. But yeah, so to talk about that a little bit, I think I talked about it during the game, and that was pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions at all, let me know. That was fun. I'm probably going to do a couple more. I don't know if I'll record them or not, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Have a good time, or have a good night, and until next time.